As a guy who spent 34 years deporting illegal aliens, I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that Joe Biden's releasing our country in violation of federal law. You better start packing now.
We have a bunch of weak, feckless leaders creating hard times right now.
What the fuck is going on?
Will you let me
Do we take them out to a farm and shoot them?
No spin, no filters, just the real conversation.
I hope it's not short-lived, man.
In the heartland of America, where the stars and stripes proudly wave in the wind, a young man named Tom Homan was born in 1961 in the small town of West Carthage, New York. Raised with the values of hard work, honor, and love for his country, Tom knew early that on this path was to serve the land he cherished. In just 20 years, he took his first steps towards that destiny by graduating from Jefferson County College with a degree in criminal justice. With the ink barely dry on his diploma, Tom set his sights on the front lines of America's borders. In 1984, he became a U.S. Border Patrol agent in the rugged terrains of Campo, California. There, under the scorching sun and the cloak of the night, he stood as a sentinel against those who sought to cross the border illegally, protecting his fellow citizens from unseen threats. But Tom's journey was just beginning. In 1986, his unwavering dedication earned him a position as a special agent with the Immigration and Naturalization Service in Phoenix, Arizona. He delved deep in the shadows, uncovering criminal organizations that trafficked humans and forged documents, tearing apart the networks that endangered countless lives. In 1995, leadership recognized the fire in his soul and promoted him to supervisory special agent in Dallas, Texas. Overseeing teams of agents, Tom's led operations against those who exploited America's laws, from fraudulent employers to cunning smugglers. His mission was clear: uphold the integrity of the nation he loved. The new millennium brought new challenges. In 1999, as Deputy Assistant District Director for Investigations in San Antonio, Tom managed enforcement initiatives that spanned the vast Texas landscape. He became the Assistant Special Agent in charge in Dallas 2002, strengthening alliances with federal, state, and local forces to amplify the impact of their collective fight against crime. When the winds of change reshaped the nation's security framework in 2003, Tom seamlessly transitioned into U.S. Immigrations and Custom Enforcement with the creation of the Department of Homeland Security. He took charge as the resident agent in San Antonio, leading efforts to dismantle cross-border criminal organizations with an iron will and an unyielding sense of justice. In 2009, recognizing the evolving threats, Tom spearheaded ICE's Secure Communities program as assistant director. He pioneered initiatives to identify and remove criminal aliens, ensuring those who threaten the safety of American communities were brought to justice. In May 2013, Tom had risen and become the Executive Associate Director of Enforcement and Removal Operations for ICE. With a budget surpassing $3 billion and over 8,000 employees under his command, he orchestrated operations across the nation and around the globe. His leadership was not just about enforcement, it was about safeguarding the American dream for all who pursued it lawfully. His relentless pursuit of justice did not go unnoticed. In 2015, Tom received the Presidential Rank Award for Distinguished Service, one of the highest honors for federal civil servants. The same year, the National Police Defense Foundation named him Man of the Year, a testament to his unwavering commitment to law enforcement and public safety. When the call came in 2017, Tom once again answered without hesitation. Appointed by the president as acting director of ICE, he stepped into the national spotlight. Amidst turbulent times and heated debates, he stood firm like a rock in a stormy sea. He expanded enforcement directives, focused on those who posed threats, but also enforcing the laws as written, embodying the principle that no one is above the law. Tom wasn't afraid to speak his mind. In congressional hearings and public forums, he criticized sanctuary cities, arguing passionately that cooperation with federal authorities was essential for the safety of all Americans. Under his leadership, I saw a significant increase in arrests, prioritizing the removal of those who endangered communities. When faced with adversity, Tom's dedication never wavered. In 2018, after 34 years of distinguished service, he announced his retirement, but his voice did not fade. He continued to testify before Congress, defending the men and women who served on the front lines and advocated for policies he believed would strengthen the nation. Tom took his fight from the front lines to the airwaves, becoming a Fox News contributor. He used his platform to shed light on the complexities of immigration and border security, always rooted in his deep love for country and commitment to the rule of law. From the rolling fields of New York to the deserts of the Southwest, Tom Homan's life has been a testament to patriotism, sacrifice, and unwavering service. He's a guardian who stood the watch so that others could sleep peacefully at night. In the spirit of every unsung hero who wears the badge and carries the weight of the nation's security on their shoulders, Tom's story is an American tribute, a tale of one man's journey to protect the homeland he holds so dear.
That was beautiful, Jesse.
In a moment,
you nailed it.
That is Tom Homan. And ladies and gentlemen, who is he, Zach? What role is he taking?
He is the new vice president. He is our second vice president if you think that he's taking over Border Czar.
Exactly.
That's
he is the new Border Czar.
Kamala Harris's job was for 3.5 years. So let's say congratulations to our newest second vice president, Tom Homan.
Right.
Who is doing amazing things. We have 4 presidents and 2 vice presidents now.
It's amazing.
Congratulations. Congratulations, America.
Right. But in all seriousness, he is taking the role as the Border Czar. And as you just heard, the man is ready for it. He's not fucking around.
This guy, like Jesse said, he's got almost 40 years of experience doing this. 40 years on this job. And he's not just taking the south border, he's taking the north border, he's taking our water borders, east, west coast. He's doing the whole shebang. So get ready, America. This is going to be a wild ride. I'm so excited about it.
And as you just heard, this is the only thing he's done. He started, he went to college, he got his degree in criminal justice, and then went straight to the border. He went straight to the Border Patrol and never left. And now, 34 years later, here he is. Or actually, it's been more than that. We're at 38. Wait. No. It's 2014. 40 years. He's been doing this for 40 years.
Started in 1984, right? Is what you said?
Yeah. So this is now 40 years of service, specifically strengthening the sovereignty of this nation at its borders. That's all he does. And now this man is in charge.
And if you've watched any of his stuff, any of his congressional hearings, anything that he's done, it is very impressive. He is very quick with the facts. Exactly the way Jesse described it. He is just a rock. The guy is so solid. And I'm so excited about this. I was really hoped that he was going to get tapped for some kind of position. I thought it was going to be, ICE director. I didn't expect it to be Border Czar.
That's everything.
Newly created position for an administration, right? Usually they just give that kind of stuff off because it's important to the vice president, and let them handle multiple tasks like that. But they're creating a sole division and breaking up these responsibilities so that they can have maximum effect in 4 years. And I am here for it. I'm all about that.
Yep. It's going to be nuts. And to think, though, so you're now, you turned 40 last year or this year?
This year. This
you
May.
Turned 40 this
84.
May. I'm turning 40 in like a few months. Okay.
Yep.
And this guy has been doing one thing for longer than I've been alive. Yeah. For your entire life, longer than mine. That is
for your entire crazy. Life too. He's been on the border your entire life.
My entire life, this man has been at the border. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I am literally getting ready to celebrate my 10th consecutive year in one job.
Yeah.
Next year. The idea of me making it another 30 after that I don't even know. There's just actually no way, right? AI is going to take my job for sure. Yeah. I got a job for maybe 5 more years, and then AI is going to be like, "Hey, Jesse, you're not needed anymore.
Go chill."
Yeah. Go chill without pay. And of course, anyway.
Maybe they'll have UBI by then, right?
Dude, no way. Anyway, this guy, he's an American legend. And I really didn't know much about him until we researched that little speech.
Yeah. I'm super excited about it. I've been watching his congressional hearings. I love watching him spar with AOC. I love watching him spar with Congress because they try to get anything on him, and he teaches them a lesson every single time because they're not prepared. They're not prepared for Tom Homan. They don't have the facts on their side. He does.
He does. They don't care. So many of them don't care.
They
about
don't
facts.
care. It's just
they
rhetoric.
Write talking points. They're like, what's going to get me reelected? If I say these words and I get them recorded, then I can say that I said these words, and that will get me reelected. Yep.
Look at me standing up to Tom Homan in Congress.
Right. Yep.
It's theater.
I mean, if you look at some of his successes, though, in 2016, he oversaw the removal of 240,000 undocumented individuals in 2016. In 2017, he reported a 30% increase in arrests under his leadership, with over 143 administrative arrests of undocumented immigrants. That's just one dude.
Correct me if I'm wrong. 2016, that was still Obama's administration.
Yeah, it was.
He was getting presidential awards, right? Is that correct? In 2015 from Obama.
He received the Presidential Rank Award for Distinguished Service.
So,
and then the National Police Defense Foundation gave him Man of the Year.
All I'm saying is the man has been in a Democratic administration. He's been in a Republican administration. Don't think that this is a bipartisan thing. The guy is just really good at doing his job, and he's going to do one job, and that's protect the American people. And it's going to be glorious. So everybody stop freaking out.
He'll be just fine. He's a family man. He's got a wife and kids. He cares for the family. One of the common criticism he receives is, "Why you're going to be separating families?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You're going to be, taking men and women and deporting them and keeping them away from their children." He's like, "The family can be deported together." He's like, "Yeah, but the kids are American." He's like, "Okay, then don't deport them." And but you can't be here illegally. What do you want? He's like, "Well, that's just so heartless. How could you do that?" He's like, "Okay, well, think about it. What happens right now when a parent is arrested?
Exactly.
Are they separated from their kids, or the kids live with them in prison?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Uh-oh, I didn't think of the obvious here. My bad.
I mean,
didn't think this question through."
The whole defund the police movement was specifically, geared towards family separation, and these crazy sentences that people had, splitting up families and things like that. So it's not a new concept to America. So
it's not. And yet here we are. So speaking of illegal immigration, I just want to throw a little story here. So have you heard of the guy named Frank Tammaro? Frank Tammaro is a 95-year-old veteran. Lives in New York. He fought in the Korean War. He was wounded, right? Served his country valiantly. I believe he's a Purple Heart winner. I can't remember. But this guy lived he was in a nursing home, living out his remaining years, right? He was kicked out. Want to know why he was kicked out? They needed room. They needed more room. He was replaced by illegal aliens. A combat veteran at the age of 95 was kicked out onto the streets, literally onto the streets, because they needed to house illegal aliens.
Yeah. That stuff's been happening in crazy amounts in the last couple of years. So, I mean, it's kind of why so many Americans have gotten fed up with what is going on. Just all of the displacement, all of the schools that have been used for this, living quarters. And even then, there's still a massive homeless problem, with illegal migrants coming in and not having a place to stay and living on the streets.
Right.
It's terrible. It's terrible. We do not have the infrastructure to put that many people that quickly into places that are good for them. The whole situation is not good. The journey up here is dangerous. It allows human trafficking to happen. It allows fentanyl to come in through the border. It's just not good. And then all of the money goes straight to cartels. Okay. Who can continue the cycle. It's not a winning situation for anyone in this world, and then the incredible amount of debt these people that come across the border have to the cartels, that they have to pay off somehow. So their wages and things like that, it's going straight back to the cartel too.
Yeah.
So it's not a good situation.
No, it's not. It's quite terrible. And it's like, a lot of people just have to sit back and relax, especially these people who are thinking about leaving the country, shaving their head, having a tattoo put on their body,
getting their tubes tied,
doing these things as a form of protest against the incoming government. Recognize that the administration that is leaving right now, that you're super upset isn't staying in power, are the very same people who are responsible for Frank Tamaro, a 95-year-old combat veteran who fought in the Korean War, who was kicked out of his nursing home so that an illegal immigrant could have his spot. That is what Kamala Harris likes. She loves that. And that is disgusting. There's no other word to describe it.
Yeah. So really do some research and look into what the consequences of your actions have been before you start crying about it all over the internet. You got to really, really think about these things. It's the amount of damage that we have caused in our country in the last 4 years is out of control. I mean, everything from every COVID decision we've ever made. I mean, Japan has literally just come out in the last week or so, 2 weeks, and talked about how it is one of the most deadly things that we've released in the world. I'm talking about, the jab, not the...
Right.
Can't really say it on here because we don't want to get banned. But, you can look it up. Just look up what Japan has finally classified that as. And I definitely don't want to set us down that path, Jesse. Yeah, let's just leave it there.
We will. I'm not going to touch it. I'm tired of editing these videos. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing here is called self-censoring. We don't want to be self-censoring right now. Like Joe Rogan, for example, he talks about it all the time. And he talks about it as if sometimes he thinks too deeply. He's like, we do it by impulse. He's like, yeah, we reactively censor ourselves so that we're more available to the people around us, right? It's this woke ideology. We're not doing that. We have things on our fucking mind. We want to say them, but if we say them, YouTube will permanently ban our channel. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. You live in the land of the free, the home of the brave, but if we talk about this word that starts with a V, we're deplatformed and we're kicked off the platform. We're off of YouTube. Just think about that. It's fucking ridiculous.
And it's not like we're even saying anything crazy. We're just reading a primary article and talking about it. All right, let's get back to Tom Homan, because the dude's a rock star, and I'm pretty certain that this episode's pretty much about him, and then we'll cover a couple other little topics here and there, and we'll probably diverge like we always do into tiny little rabbit holes that take up a third of the conversation for some reason.
You know what I love about Tom? My favorite thing about him is that he is not a DEI hire.
Yeah.
We were talking about just like the terrible things that have befallen this country over the last 4 or 5 years. DEI is one of them.
Yeah. It is. It's been terrible.
People don't understand just how detrimental that has been to just all walks of life, not environment, but like I was going to say like company environments, like
work environments,
the workplace. The effectiveness of these companies and industries have been completely shattered because of DEI mandates.
And then, if they're terrible employees, you can't even fire them, right? Because then you look terrible for firing somebody that you just hired because of their identity.
Yeah.
And then you're carrying baggage for somebody that just can't perform.
Yep.
It's not a good look.
It is not a good look.
One thing that I was going to kind of dive into on that is that when you're lowering the test scores for doctors so that you can get more of your DEI hire done, your agenda done, it's not going to be good in the long run for people. Like me and Jesse lived through Obama's TRICARE, and his healthcare for the military. And what they did was, instead of treat you, they would sling pills at you. You would go in, and the doctor would inevitably give you Motrin 800s, Flexeril, and maybe if you're lucky, you get some codeine or something in your Advil for hurting yourself real bad. but that was pretty rare. It's usually Flexeril and Motrin ibuprofen 800s. And then they'd be like, just do normal stuff and come back to us in 2 weeks if it still hurts.
Exactly.
They just expected you to heal on your own with a little bit of medication.
Happened
and
to
you're
you?
like, it's happened to everybody. Everybody in the military had the same thing happen to me that we all had. And one of the first things that Trump did when he came in is he looked after the VA healthcare. He got rid of a lot of that crap where they were just slinging pills at us, and it wasn't specifically just military healthcare, but it was everywhere because they were just giving Vicodin and oxycodone and all these other things, slinging pills, and Americans were like massively addicted to this shit. And so you saw this really nice healthcare movement right around 2017, I want to say, when Trump came in the first office, and he was like, enough of this just prescription pad doctors. So back to the DEI hirings, when you start lowering your test scores, you're going to start getting doctors that don't know anything about anything, and the only thing they can do is prescribe you pills, and it's not going to be good for our healthcare. We're one of the richest countries in the world, and we shouldn't have substandard doctors because we're trying to fill an identity politics wet dream. So,
yep, it's ridiculous. It's like, what's the like? It just like in my industry, I'm in cybersecurity. The most likely candidate is going to be the most likely demographic is white men. It's just something we're drawn to. We love cybersecurity. It's just something we want to be behind the computer 16 hours a day. We don't want to step away from fighting the bad guy digitally. It's fun. It's a mystery that just never ends, and it just gets better and better. And there's heroics involved, the late nights and the Monster Energy drinks and the pizza. The whole thing is literally a man's dream to do this kind of shit. Absolutely, women can do it. Absolutely, other ethnicities can do it. Absolutely. But it's just that there are more of us who are more interested. That's all I'm saying. And so when I, as a hiring manager myself, when I have this DEI mandate, I look at all the applicants that are like literally 99, not 99, like probably 95% white male out there. And I have to somehow weigh the 95 against the 5%. And the 5% they have to win because I'm mandated to pull from both pools. And the thing is, I don't have the luxury of hiring substandard employees for this job. They have to be the elite of the elite. And so what happens is I will pick one from, the white male candidate, the top of that whole pile. I will spend thousands of hours over the course of a few months, right, with me and my team combined, combing over interviews or whatever, doing interviews and whatnot, and finding the best of the best. And then with the other pile, the DEI pile, we sit and wait because I refuse to hire somebody who is not perfect. And so we will wait. I will wait for the candidate to show up. Like they totally exist, but I just have to wait. And so 6 months will go by before I finally get the right candidate out of that pool. And it's just because there's such a small, narrow band that are interested in this job.
right.
And it hurts us because I sit on that head count. I can't feel that person in my team. And we all feel it.
So
We
now
all
you're
feel the pain.
short-staffed, and now
We're
you've got
short-staffed.
more hours. And
Meanwhile, there's a perfectly good
vicious
candidate
cycle.
right there,
Vicious cycle.
ready to join, ready to do the work, amped, super excited, but I can't hire him because they're white. It's literally racist.
Yeah, it is literally right. I remember watching some of the what's it called? PowerPoints. Sorry, brain fog.
Right.
I remember seeing some of the PowerPoints that we had to sit through in the military, and I was just like, how is this not considered racism? It's just blatantly targeted towards white people.
Yes.
It's got to be. It's got to be. Like if you swap that out with black people versus white people, and somebody saw it, you would be in so much trouble. So that's my standard. Is like if you're looking at something, and it's the same thing with passing laws within the government. Like, do you want the Republicans to have this power? No, then don't pass it as a Democrat, right? But if you say something to a white person that if you said that same thing to a black person and it would be considered racism, it's probably racism.
Right.
So.
Right. And so just so that everybody's on the same page when it comes to hiring, it's literally your team. So the idea is that your team should look like a cross section of the United States. That's the whole point of DEI. So roughly 60% of the country is white, 20% is Latin, 12 to 13 is black, and then we have about 6% is Asian, and then there's mixed below that. Okay, so they want your team to look like that. You can have roughly 60% of your team being white, 20% Latin, 12 to 13% black, 6% Asian, right? And that's fine if you're out doing, for the most jobs, for the majority of jobs, you might be able to find that kind of nice split. But in specialty positions like mine, or there's others like, a good example might be lumberjacking, working in the wood industry. And there's a whole bunch that we can kind of cover here that for whatever reason, there's a specific demographic that's really, really drawn to it. And that demographic puts in the hours and the time to go and be the best of the best in that industry because they just enjoy it so much. And when we're precluded from hiring from that demographic, it hurts the whole industry. It hurts the company, it hurts the team. And it's not like we don't want to hire anybody. Like eventually I will get my team and I will have it built, but it's just taking me, what should normally take me, I would say, maybe 3 months to put together a team. Right now, it will take me between 6 to 8 months if I refuse to.
I'm kind of curious, like if this is a national standard that we have for workplaces, why don't football teams look that way?
Oh no, it's only in the workplace.
I know.
If you had to have, don't be wrong, if you had to have
it's a corporate thing, man.
Yeah.
I guarantee you football and basketball would be a lot more boring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, for sure. Without a doubt, right? Without a doubt. It is what it is. There's only a handful of us white guys that can actually, play, at that crazy, crazy level anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of them. I'm you know what? I might have been. I played so much basketball in high school. I was like in every basketball team until I broke both my feet. It's like, that's a way to end a basketball career right there.
Yeah.
Break your feet. It sucks. That really sucks. Oh, I've never felt so much pain in my life. I think I felt more pain breaking my left foot, like snapping it, than I did in a head-on motorcycle collision. I've never been in more agony than that moment. Like I had all of the, what do you call it? The when you go into shock, all that stuff flowing through your system in the motorcycle accident. I didn't have any of it in the basketball field. On the basketball court, it was a bad layup. Somebody ran into my back and went flying into a brick wall, and my foot just hit it and snapped it in half. Like and you could hear the of like all the bones, and like I fell over. It hurt. So I immediately just projectile vomited everywhere. So it hurt so bad. And everybody's like, "What's wrong?" Like nobody else really saw it happen. They're like, "What the fuck? What just happened? Why is Jesse throwing up all over the place?" And
call a priest.
I can't even. Oh, dude, they didn't know what happened. Like everybody stopped. Everybody stopped. They're just staring at me, and I'm in so much pain. I can't make a sound. I can't breathe. Like, oh, it was literally the worst day of my life. Yeah. I wish it upon nobody.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's terrible.
Sorry, we have digressed massively.
Yeah, we said it was going to happen. It happened.
Oh yeah, yeah. Projectile vomiting. Let's go back to from DEI to that. Yeah, that's funny. Anywho, I'm really excited though. Like going back. This is just the the start. I mean, we have Susie Wiles. We have Tom Homan.
Yeah.
And this administration is off to a banger. There's somebody else. Who is the UN chief? What's her name? There's somebody else. Trump appointee to the UN. I can't remember her name. That was also announced today, I think. Elise. Yeah, that's her.
Oh, Stefanik?
Yeah. Elise Stefanik.
Oh yeah,
She is the
Lisa Stefanik.
U.S.
Yeah,
ambassador to the United Nations. She's a congresswoman from New York and has been noted for her staunch support of Israel and her criticism of the United Nations Relief and Work Agency for Palestine refugees in Near East over alleged affiliations with Hamas. Her appointment reflects Trump's ongoing emphasis on America First policies and his choice of strong conservative allies for diplomatic roles. Bingo.
Oh man, that's gonna be crazy. She's smart too. She's real smart.
Yeah, yeah. Oh boy, it's gonna be interesting. She's got some criticism out there for the Palestinians.
Oh yeah, she's got a lot. Well, I mean, she's got a lot of criticism because she's very supportive of Trump.
Yeah. So anyway, so we have, and then of course we still have RFK in the background. But dude, I can't wait to see what RFK is going to come out and shake up the FDA, the CDC, the NIH, and the CIA, and the FBI, and the NSA. Those 6 agencies are going to be upended. Oh, and by the way, if you all didn't see it, Trump doubled down yesterday. And he's like, hey, the Department of Education is gone. It's over. Like, it's not even a debate. It's dissolved. Come January 20th, if you're in the Department of Education, it's over for you. Go find a new job. You fucking suck. And I didn't know this, but apparently it was Carter. Carter brought in the Department of Education. And in his administration,
been about the right time,
in his administration, at the start of his administration, the United States was number 1 in the world for education, for K through 12, I believe. Okay, I think we still have the best collegiate system in the world anyway. So that's always been pretty much off the tables because we have the Harvard and the Ivy Leagues and whatnot.
Right.
But we were number 1 K through 12. At the end of the Carter administration, we were number 21 in the world.
In 4 years?
It was something crazy. We dropped fast.
I believe it. We're gonna have to look into that. But so Stephen Miller is deputy chief of staff for policy. He's 39-year-old. That's pretty young. So, he was 39 during Trump's first administration. So he's in his mid-40s. He's our age, a little bit older than us. So he's going to be doing deputy chief of staff for policy. And then got Lee Zeldin doing Environmental Protection Agency. He's a congressperson. He ran for governor against Kathy Hochul.
Okay.
I think he was Congress in New York.
Gotcha.
He's a congressman in New York. Okay. I don't know if it was like federally or just state. I'm gonna have to look up that. But yeah, I think that's the only people that Trump has picked so far. But right. We're 6 days into his nomination. Yeah, he's knocking him out.
His transition team is on point. They're working.
He's knocking him out.
So to correction. So at the start of Carter's administration, we were number 1 K through 12, and now we're 21st.
Oh, okay.
So it has just been a downhill. So the Department of Education is directly responsible for the declination of our education system.
Well, they keep lowering the standard and thinking that it's going to be making it better. They keep throwing things like Common Core in there and changing what people need to be learning. And instead of learning about, things that will make you a better, well-rounded member of society, you're learning about gender ideology and other crap that you don't need to succeed in life.
Correct.
It might make you a better person, maybe to, 0.1% of the population, but it's not going to help you do math and get a good job and get into college or learn how to do any kind of a blue collar job.
Nope.
You need really good skills. It's not just learning how to take shit apart with your hands. You need to be able to do some math, and you need to be able to do some thinking, because I swear to you, if you get out there in the field and you don't know how to critical think, you're going to be sitting there scratching your head when you're like, I've never seen this before. How would I make this work?
Yep. And it's because of this woke agenda that's been pushed across the nation, forced down everybody's throats.
Yeah.
In school, where people have no point. If you want to be woke on your own time. And a good example of this, just the silliness, is a kid heard his, this is filmed, you can find this video on like Twitter, on TikTok, I'm sure, on YouTube. Kid heard his mom in high school, right? He's in a high school class, coming down the hallway looking for him. And he started recording, and he's like, he looked at the teacher, he's like, "You're in trouble." and the teacher's like, because the teacher's confused because she hears something coming down the hallway, but she's like, "What the fuck is this noise?" And the guy's like, "I'm telling you, you are in trouble." And he's pointing at this behind the teacher, and there is a pride flag, hanging over something. You can't really tell, but it's a huge pride flag hanging over like the whiteboard, and there's something behind it. And the mother walks in, and she's like, "What the hell is going on in this class?" And the teacher's like, "Ma'am, you have to leave here. I'm calling security." And she's like, she just looks at the board. She sees the not the trans, but the pride flag. She rips it off, and behind it is what they're supposed to be talking about is like geography. And it was the United States, the map of the United States with all the states and the geography and whatnot. She's like, "What is this doing covering the United States? Why aren't you teaching, social studies and geography and, the civics of this country? This is not anything. This is a political ideology. This is an identity." And and the teacher's just ranting and raving. "You got to get out of here. You're going to get arrested and yada, yada, yada." She's like, "No, you got to get the fuck out of here." She just tore into this person, and this kid is just filming it, chuckling. And then at some point, the teacher told the mother, like, "Shut the hell up." And he's like, "Hey, you can't tell my mother to shut up." And then she looked at the kid, and she's like, "You're in so much trouble." And he's like, "I told you this would happen. I told you this would happen." And he was so calm. And meanwhile, the whole class, though, was like, "Oh, shit, we don't have to put up with this." You can just see the gears starting to turn in their heads like, "Oh, wow, we kind of were just in a weird place."
Yeah.
Kind of needed this wake-up call.
Yeah.
And that's what we're getting with Trump, by the way. The whole nation is getting a wake-up call.
Yeah. Everybody just got kind of sick of it. I think everybody's being sick of being pushed around and told how they have to live and how they have to talk and be. And it's just we are not in a good place. And, 80% of Americans decided that we are heading in the wrong direction. And so they voted something different. So,
right. Time to move along. Just turn the page. Kamala Harris supporters, turn the page.
Turn the page.